Hello, Internet.
Hey guys, hey gals, hey everybody. From the naughty side of the podcast, here is I.
What are you trying to say? I'm going to be on the nice side?
You want to be on the naughty side? You can come over.
I don't know
More
if
the
I want to go
merrier.
that far, but
More the merrier, you know?
it is December. It is time to get ready for the end of the year, for the holiday season,
The
or why
holiday
not? Let's have a
season.
little holiday fun.
Oh yeah, run down with the great drinks and the great mistletoes and the great shing-a-la-la bing-bang jingle-jangle jongs.
Yeah, all right. So, hey, Chad, how you doing tonight?
Hey, everybody. Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
Zip, thank you for the continued sub. Much appreciated. Mayflower, Shadster, how you guys doing? Jessica, how are you doing, sir? Alrighty. So, yeah, we took last week off because, it was that Turkey Day holiday thing. And
Gobble gobble.
got to do a few, got a chance to, sit around, hang out, take a little break. But now we're back and we're going to hear for Scuba and The Ry. So let's have some fun.
A little bit of fun, a little bit of jamel.
A little bit of jingle jangle.
Yeah, jingle
Okay.
jangle.
That's good. Missed all you guys. I missed y'all. I know Ry did too. He came out of his food coma to come and hang out.
Yeah, somehow I crawled away from the turkey and the gravy and the stuffing. Made it over here.
I didn't have that complicated of a meal, actually. It was just the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the green bean casserole, and the biscuits.
A little bit more talking later on that.
Yeah,
Adventures awaits.
Of course. It's going through school. Yep. A couple weeks. Schools around here had a long Thanksgiving break this year, as opposed to other years. I guess the benefit of the virtual learning, it's like, why am I going to have a half day on a virtual day?
Yeah, just kind of like take the whole day.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Makes
That's how
sense
it
to me.
rolls. Why not? You gotta spend time with family, keep safe, keep protected, do all the right things.
Alrighty, so a couple of things right off there. Want to give a shout out and a thank you to the community. You guys are awesome and amazing. I love you guys. Keep doing that support. Much appreciated. I want to give a shout out. Today's music is not Sirenscape. It is Stream Beats. Stream Beats is royalty-free music that you can use for your podcast, stream, and YouTube videos needs. Excuse me. Again.
A little bit of cough.
Gotta, breathe and all those things. Anyways, we're gonna.
Take a sippy sip. Clear that throat. Evening, Sakura.
Alrighty, so yeah, Stream Beats, royalty-free music that you listen to. This we're listening to the Christmas album, A Very Lo-Fi Christmas, from Harris Heller and Stream Beats. So sit and hang out and enjoy that. No, I don't have a command for Stream Beats just right now. Really should have thought about that.
Hey, next time.
Well, we'll get it. It's but it's from Harris Heller. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, any of those places. Guaranteed no DCMA if you use that in your stream.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, also want to point out that we have 3 weeks left of the year for us. We are gonna 3 more episodes, and then we will be taking a winter break.
Yes.
And coming back on the week after New Year's to kind of kick off 2021 and see how things roll there. Obviously, for our last episode of the year, we're going to try and do something special. Still working that out. So, hey, guys in the chat, if you have a suggestion for something that we can do, shoot a comment or a question. The bot will pick it up, or check us out on our Discord, because we got a wonderful Discord that we're trying to grow a community to continue to chat about the various game streams, podcast stream, and anything else that kind of hang out and chill. Nice kind of relaxing place, a lounge, so to speak.
Yeah, chillaxing in a way.
But if you're listening to this on audio podcast, you can check out Scuba and The Ry via Scuba Studio on all your podcast providers. Also, we do upload these videos to YouTube. There's a couple week delay on that, but I'm sure that gap will shorten. But if you're watching us here on YouTube, be sure to hit the like, the subscribe, and the little bell notification to be notified when more videos get posted. Ryan and I were just wrapped up a couple more episode reviews of The Mandalorian Season 2, which we will get packaged up and put out onto the YouTube channel. Our spoiler-filled chit-chat about, and we kind of pace through the episode, talk about what we liked and whatnot. I don't think we've really had anything negative to say about the season for Mandalorian.
No, it has been a very steady season.
It's solid. I like it. I haven't found anything I really just don't like.
Yeah, if any negatives, it's just being the typical nitpick critic on my side. But overall, great season so far.
Yeah, I can go with that. But yeah, so those are those things. So with that, we can get into our what's up, what we've been doing. It's been a couple of weeks since we were last hanging out with all you wonderful people.
It's been a little whiles.
I know. Well, I mean, you could tell from the background, some things behind me changed.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes.
Behind Ry changed too.
Changes.
Massive changes. I think I'm going to try and get that. I have a PTZ camera that I've been trying to get into OBS. I may rig that up and let you guys kind of see what the studio is starting to look like, or I'll try and post some pictures up on the Instagrams, which you can got that little rotator over there. Yep, over there. That rotates through. That's exactly how, that's how you want to find us in all our various social medias. Plus we got the little doobly-doo down below that you can check out. Ry, what you been up to? And how'd your turkey day go?
It went wonderful. It's been a good time off. I took off the week from work on Thanksgiving, so I had the week off from work. No real big school stuff to do, but to read this book right here. But I'll talk about that later. But Turkey Day, we went and visited my aunt over on the Eastern Shore and had good country Thanksgiving dinner. Everything, from scratch. And my favorite, which she knows I love, is banana nut bread. So she definitely makes the banana nut bread, knowing that I am definitely going to show up and eat it all.
Nice.
But other than that, the Turkey Day was great. Got to spend it with family, definitely in this time with a lot of the craziness going on, and trying to stay safe, but wanting to see family, got to be precarious, but do it the smart way. Other than that, everybody knows around Thanksgiving and holiday I like to do a dibble dabble on the shopping, because it is Black Friday shopping, but it's a different Black Friday shopping experience this year.
Can you really call it Black Friday? I mean, most everything was online sales anyway. Wouldn't that be Cyber Friday?
It was a Cyber every day, because they stretched out the typical Black Friday shopping over a few weeks.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did pretty much go, hey, let's go for the entire month.
But I kind of dibble dabbled on the actual day while looking at the sales through the weeks. But I didn't go too much splurging like I usually do, but I decided to go in one direction over the other. I've been trying to get a hold of the new Xbox, but because of online bots buying everything up, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just wait. So I used that money and bought a Roomba, a robot vacuum, so it can clean its house by itself. And I set it up yesterday, and it definitely is it's just the little things like that, just seeing it go and clean everything up, and being able to find it is great. Like I'm just so astonished at how it works and how you can control it. Like the model I have, you can control it by the app. You can set it on a weekly schedule. It knows when to go home, which is its main base where it charges, so it'll go back when it's done. So it's just those little things. And I did a little bit of other typical shopping, some clothes, some here and there. Lots of video game playing on a specific game. Talk about it later. Got my flu shot because I need to get that for work. So I did do that. So I am flu season protected once again.
Oh, this is that time for that. Flu shots and all those other wonderful things.
And other than that, nothing else extraordinarily out of the norm other than just kind of chillaxing on my week off. That's about it.
Got a little bit of a lag going on here.
Little laggy.
Yeah, a little laggy. Something's a little sketchy.
It's a little laggy.
Little laggy too. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing some lag there. Hmm. I can do.
Yeah, Shelly's saying the sound is really clear, but the picture isn't sticking.
Picture sticking? Okay.
So, we're like them old school samurai movies. Picture and the subtitles aren't sticking together.
Oh, really? You had to go there?
I love them. I love them. That's why I had to bring it up. Okay.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Working now? I don't see a red.
Just...
Okay. It gives me time to think. What else did I do on my couple weeks off? I don't see any lag here.
It's looking good.
I don't see any.
Okay, looks like we're back up. We're back up.
It looks like it.
Might have had to downplay a few things. Okay, so let's go with that.
Oh. Downplay. So what was the last thing? I had a week off.
You had a week off. No, we were talking about shopping. You went shopping because
yes.
you have gone shopping every year for Black Friday, and you always find these really cool things at Best Buy.
Oh yeah, and this year was the Roomba.
That's right. We were talking about the Roomba, and you thought it was really cool how it would like know when to go home, and you can control it through the app. I mean,
yeah, and it definitely it's not a niche item. It's not one of those things. Hey, buy this, and it'll work and does it. Did the first test run yesterday, and then I went to go and you have to dump it every time. After it does this thing, you have to dump the thing. It definitely picked up everything. It picked up everything, and I have a couple dogs, so it did do a little spotless clean.
I had one of the early gen Roombas for a while, but it kind of died. But yeah, I'm all for robotic assistance and home automation.
Oh yeah, and my mom she came out and she was just as amazed at watching it go, and she's just amazed how it doesn't knock things over because it has a good sensor, so it knows how to sense. It even went underneath the couch the way it moves. It was not bumping to bump it, but it was bumping to reach. So. Nice. And it went down the hallway, went into the bathroom, came back, went over the rugs a few times, which is good because it kept going back to the rugs and cleaned them spotless. So, yeah, it definitely was a good purchase. Instead of waiting like a million years for the Series X to hit the market.
Only 10.
Yeah, 10 years. Okay. I decided to use that gift card on the Roomba, and some shirts from Hollister. And then a few more stuff last night on Cyber Monday. I had my laptop in my hand, had it Best Buy, Amazon, and Kohl's open while watching football. Until midnight. Skimming the ads until I found something.
Oh.
But no,
boy.
I mostly did a Cyber Monday for someone else. So, a Christmas gift.
Oh, really? Well, we can't talk about it now because Christmas is going to be a while, and for all we know, she could be lurking in the chat watching.
She might, but who knows? But also, with that, I did finish the latest season of The Crown, season 4 on Netflix. It's one of my favorite shows on Netflix. It follows Queen Elizabeth's reign up until now. So season 4 encompasses the 80s. So Princess Diana shows up.
Nice.
That's it. And a lot of video game playing, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I didn't play any video games. I didn't go shopping. I kind of went shopping, but I didn't do any like Cyber Monday cool shopping. I decided to spend the week rearranging the studio. I took down the shelves and whatnot that were up here, patched up the walls, and then the walls kind of looked pretty sad. So I was like, you know what? I should repaint these while I'm at it. So trying to figure out what colors to use and do a suggestion of some people in the community, specifically Shad. I went to try to see if I could get a color indicative of my logo, which is the blue. And they were able to do it. So the main color on the back wall is the same blue that's in the logo. If you go and pick it up from the stickers on our merch store, which we got the little doobly-doo going right there. even a little Christmas sale package deal you could get for merch. And decided as an accent color, wanted to go with red cedar. So I've got, and then as we were painting, I was like, let me do like a little faux chair rail in the red cedar along. And I don't think it looks too bad. A lot of it's kind of covered on the one wall that's painted right now, because I'm at the point I have to move stuff off the wall, patch the wall, clean the wall, paint the wall, then move things around. So that's very labor intensive. The thing that really sucked about this project is at some point Monday night, I twisted my knee. So I have been having a hell of a time walking around and lifting and moving things. And I've got this whole studio space I'm playing with. So yeah, I probably didn't do myself any favors. To be fair. Hey, Sakura. So yeah, but my knee is getting better. It feels better. I'm not limping as badly. Still hurts, but not as bad as it did on like Tuesday when I tried to paint the wall. Was trying to paint walls. But so picked up a couple of gallons of paint. Also picked up paint for my kids so they could start working on their rooms. And of course, looking at trying to redesign and redo the layout, put some display and things like that going on. So I think it'll look a lot better when it comes to the whole trying to do certain things. Actually, I just had an idea. Shame on me. But so yeah, that was the majority of my week, was doing that.
You have ideas.
I have ideas.
Ideas are good.
Ideas are great.
My ideas are grand, in a weird sense.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to agree, but it's kind of true.
You're right. I didn't have to agree, but I think I could do this though. And we'll just kind of on the fly roll with it. Kick over to... Oh, I do have it. Yeah. Kick over to... All right. So you're seeing that. That's great. I know you guys are seeing that. How about that? Okay, we're seeing that. Now we'll do this. Here is how the studio's looking right now.
Oh, snap.
As you see, you got I redid the whole back area here. Used to have like 12 foot of shelving, but decided to take that down and then kind of work through and put up a smaller bit of shelving with these two display cabinets on either side. And awesome. Then it was the craft table right here. It looks a little cluttered right now, but trying to work through that. I'm taking the Adam Savage approach to organization. Lay everything out on tables, look at it, ponder it, question the meaning of life, and then figure out what the best place to put it in order of ease of access. So it's still kind of a work in progress. I do have there's some space on the side here to kind of look through. So yeah, that's still looking a little clunky, but hopefully over the course of the Christmas break, we'll have have all of that kind of wrapped up. So quick kind of, hey, working on that.
That is cool.
So all kinds of fun, all kinds of great. But that was the majority of my week, was doing those things. And in that time, I did happen to start watching His Dark Materials on HBO Max.
That is definitely a show I want to catch up on.
Not gonna lie, that was a really good show.
I've heard.
I finished season 1 today. I didn't start season 2 because I knew if I started watching season 2, I wouldn't get anything else done today. Kind of my problem yesterday.
Oh yeah, I am looking for some more new series to watch once classes end. So Yeah, after The Queen's Gambit and season 4 of The Crown, I know I have a lot of choices. I just got to sit down and pick them.
Well, Netflix did just release is putting out a channel that is a kind of like a TV channel where they run through content on there, as opposed to, oh, look at this entire library. What am I going to watch?
Netflix Direct. That's what it's called.
So, yeah, painted the walls, did those things. Hey, we're going to talk about some movie reviews, right? Yeah, let's talk about movie reviews.
Yeah, 2 weeks off. Got a couple movies in.
Couple? Really?
Yeah, a couple.
Alrighty. Talk about some movie reviews. Let's talk about our first one. There's a couple of reviews that are on Netflix. This one is Yes God Yes. And yeah, right, just talk to me about this one.
All right, Yes God Yes is a pseudo coming of age film. It is a slight period piece because it's set during the early 2000s, my high school years, so there was a real connection for me. But it follows a teen by the name of Alice, actress Natalie Dyer. She is most notably known as the sister in Stranger Things, which I didn't realize. Kicked myself in the face. But she plays this young girl in high school who is in that year of teenage life where she is kind of on the fringe of adolescence angst, and she is at a crossroads with her family life and school life because of her faith and in God. She goes to a Catholic school, and certain situations she's confused about, mostly dealing, what teenagers do when they're together, or in this case, AOL chat rooms. This actually drives her to go to a faith-based camp, a weekend getaway, where she goes and figures out that maybe what she's feeling isn't as bad as what she thought. So like I said, it's a coming of age story that centers on the early 2000s, high school years. It is a typical coming of age story with a lot of predictable scenarios found in a lot of common teenage comedies. So
all right, real quick before we get too much, because we're dancing around a couple of things here, let's be upfront. This movie is rated R.
Yes, it's rated R.
It's rated R because and it has some moments in there, but it's the fact that what they're talking about is the whole bit, which a lot of us who remember those years in high school and puberty and all of that crap that goes with it.
Oh yeah.
That's part of why this is in there. So prefacing that in there, this is an extreme early 2000s, the birth of online chat rooms. We all remember what a rabbit hole dungeon that was.
Yeah, AOL chat rooms was one that, I'm not gonna lie, I frequented, not the way that she does, but I did frequent.
So this kind of goes in with that and that whole uptightness of like a Catholic school. I remember having a friend when I was in high school who went to a private school that was heavily church influenced. This is just kind of wow.
Yeah. So what Scuba is pointing on is like she comes in a conflict with her own teenage desires against her faith. And through certain inciting incidents, it leads her to go into this camp with her friends and the rest of the people in high school. And the first half is basically your typical coming of age teenage comedy, typical tropes you would find with a high school setting of this type, just with a little bit more influence because it's a Catholic high school. When it moves to the camp, that's when the story actually brings out that allure and that temptation and those teenage angst, but actually prefaces it through different scenarios that Alice watches, sees, and not only sees in the kids at the camp, but also the instructors at the camp, the priest at the camp, and some of the teachers and older adults. So a lot of this conflict of interest comes into play, but a lot of the scenarios are created through physical mishaps and conversational freneticism. So a lot of dialogue is dark and satirical and witty, but it can come off dry and convoluted at times. But she does start to come to an understanding, which is very preface of a coming of age film, but it's placed in that crossroads of teenage growth, adolescence, and faith. So she's in that triangular effect of that, and it ends on this like monologue that you would yes, it's the typical like ever after kind of monologue, but it's still real life, straight in your face kind of monologue that actually puts everything to the forefront. And she kind of like pseudo calls everybody out, especially the priest.
For the hypocrisy.
Yeah, for the hypocrisy. And it's kind of funny because it brings everything together as a whole, whereas a lot of disjointedness, a lot of predictability when it comes to a coming of age story, but in the end, when she faces the facts, she comes to terms with what it is and makes people to come to terms with it through a very passive aggressive way, which is kind of funny in its own right.
Yeah. And we're not talking, this is not like The Good Boys kind of raunchy. This is actually fairly tame in comparison.
It's fairly tame, but very raw, but very down to earth and realistic in a way. So it's an oxymoron itself, placed against a very typical cliche coming of age outline.
Yeah. So what rating did you give it? And then we can get into how you and I had very different opinions of this film.
Overall, it's a very disjointed experience. I love coming of age films, but this isn't one of the ones I truly liked, but it was still fun by the end. 3.5 out of 5 matinee. It is on Netflix and Amazon Prime.
All right. Me, I'd give it barely a 1.5 because honestly, I couldn't even sit through this. This just rubbed me the wrong way, unintended, and did not find it very enjoyable. I ended up skipping through large chunks of the film because I was just like, oh God, please stop. Because it did not.
Is it the cliches? Is it the coming of age tropes?
The cliche, some of that stuff, but a lot of it was like, it did not, for me, it didn't feel enjoyable. It felt like it hurt my brain.
Oh yeah, like I said, I when we were talking off camera, like I understand exactly everything you felt, but once I got through that disjointedness and they got to the camp, it kind of settled in for me.
And even the camp stuff, I was like, I saw bits, I skimmed through it. It's like, not, because sometimes, maybe there's like a really dry point in the film, and then once you get past that, it can be a little bit more enjoyable. No, sorry. Nope.
I'd recommend it to people that have that kind of like 2000s feel or grew up in that era. They might, have a closeness to it, but overall, it's up to you. It's on Netflix for free. Check it out.
Yeah. The other thing, and I think, and probably I will say one of the strengths of the film is Natalie, is Dyer, and the way her on-screen presence. We were commenting off before this, but for me, if you take apart the fact that this is set in the 2000s, this really almost feels like an origin story of her character on Stranger Things.
Yeah, when you told me that and I sat and thought about it, it's like, yeah, if it was set before the 80s. If
you take away the whole 2000s of this movie and the 1980s feel of Stranger Things, this feels like her origin story before the events of the first season of Stranger Things, because there isn't much difference in the characters, but probably one of the strengths is the fact that she plays one of the great things is like when you have a comedy duo, you have your person who's really animated, and then you have your straight man.
Yeah.
She plays that role really well, to where even just you can looking at her face as she delivers the line and the emotion and some of the stuff, those are the things where it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that kind of like raw and witty dialogue that she has kept me into the film, and especially near the end.
Yeah, I mean, she is one of the strengths of the film. So if you enjoy her and enjoy how she portrayed her character on Stranger Things, go and check this out. I'm letting you know because I know we have teenagers and whatnot in the chat and in the community, and we try to focus on being family friendly overall. This is one of those. It's like, depending on how you feel about some of the subject matter. Overall, though, this is just one of those things. It's like once you get past how cheesy and corny, and I'll tell you, I'll give you this one. We all remember Titanic, right? He knows where I'm going. He knows where I'm going. We all remember Titanic. We all remember the scene in the cargo hold in the car. Guess what? That is the major bit for her whole thing. So think that in mind, watch this film, and then you'll get why I'm just laughing and giggling because, oh Lord. But that being said,
I think attachment to the era gave a little fervor to the rating, but
well, I mean, for you, that definitely that's your high school years. In boot camp at the time.
There's a lot of people that haven't seen that movie Mayweather, so don't feel like you're left out. But speaking of sailing away into other films,
yes, let's do that. Let's move on to a different kind of film. We've seen this film. Now let's see something that is actually night and day different.
It is completely night and day, plus a foreign film.
Yes. This is The Life Ahead. This is again another film that's on Netflix. It's actually an Italian-made film. So all of the dialogue is in Italian. You have the option to listen to an English dubbed version of the film.
And I'm going to just tell you up front, watch it in the Italian.
Yeah.
And this is not just me saying it. This is Scuba saying it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a foreign film, so obviously it's going to be a different style of film than what we're used to in quote-unquote traditional American cinema.
Yes.
But and as I was getting to, when you first play it on Netflix, it'll automatically go to the English dub.
Yeah.
For me, the dub felt off. It didn't feel as natural. So I actually flipped it to the English subtitle and put it back in Italian and loved the movie, and it just fell in love with the movie. Couldn't understand a whole lot because I don't speak very fluent Italian. I speak a few of them. I can probably say in a really bad way, a bad use of some of the most common words. But again, I'm acknowledging my own ignorance of another language. I'd love to learn more of it. But again, the film, I mean, watching the English subtitles, listening to it in Italian, it changes the whole film entirely.
Oh, yeah.
So that being said, Ry, tell us about The Life Ahead.
The Life Ahead is an Italian film, a Netflix original because they helped produce it, and it focuses on a seaside Italian town. It focuses on two characters, Madame Rosa, who is played by Sophia Loren. She's an old lady that runs like a pseudo daycare, childcare, and through some convenient plot devices, she takes in a boy, a Senegalese orphan by the name of Momo, played by, I'm going to butcher the name, Ibrahim Boué, who is a young boy living on the streets and really doesn't have a place of his own. These are two ideally opposite characters, but through their bond, they start to see that they have more things in common than they least expect, and that their bond transcends age. And basically, the heart of the film are these two characters. They both have different tragedies that affected them in two different ways. Her being the Holocaust, and Momo having to do with his parents. Because of those two kind of tragedies, that's where the bond develops. And through like subtlety and visual cues, you watch as the level of brevity of their mother-son dynamic continue to build along this film's journey. There's a very predictable of opposites attraction that you find in a lot of common films like these. But it's that character dynamic that makes you endear their journey in the scenes, and they grow closer and closer together. Once the film gets into the latter half, it helps bring a reflection motif for Momo in watching Madame Rosa start to mentally deteriorate because of her memories and her age. And he sees it as a reason to move his life forward from his renegade antics on the street and decide to take up a different perspective in life.
I'm gonna
go ahead.
I watched this one all the way through and loved it. And to give you some context, Momo is like 14.
Yeah.
Well, he's like 12 to 14, and I think 14's pushing it. And this kid is a brat,
Yeah.
straight up brat on there. He gets into some shady stuff that it like anybody who has kids in that age would be like, oh hell no.
Oh yeah, he does a lot of crazy things, and his anger and angst show it, but it also shows, you know, the lack of maturity when he gets angry at certain things.
Well, yeah, because he's a kid. But
Yeah.
and the nice thing about this is subtext of family.
Yeah. That subtext is what bridges him into becoming closer to Madame Rosa, and a couple of the ancillary characters that he meets throughout help add into that familial theme, which is what brings the attachment of the audience into this film. It makes you go beyond the subtext of being an Italian film and having to read and listen, because you just get enthralled and enraptured in their story.
Yeah. And it's interesting because one of the things I loved about the Rosa character is the fact that, you know, all of that time has passed and the impact of it from when she was a child who survived Auschwitz.
Yeah.
And I think this is indicative of society now, is this kid kind of modern day ish, so to speak, smartphones and all those other things. When he first tries to pronounce Auschwitz, he doesn't get it right.
Yeah.
But he has no idea. And her reaction is like, you know what? Probably a good thing you don't have any context. Just know that it was not fun. And interesting thing on that is the parallel to what we're seeing in a lot of community in several communities, some of that echoing back with the way like certain Muslim communities, because Momo is actually short for Muhammad, and his family was Muslim.
Yeah.
Or Muslim, but his mother died, his father is out of the picture, so that's what makes him an orphan.
Yeah.
And another subtext is like Rosa was a streetwalker for years and years and years, and when she could no longer do that, she would then look after the kids of these other women who worked the streets. So aside from that being like, that's kind of jacked up, but then it's the fact that, you know, she has this presence in the community.
Yeah.
So many people are connected by that. And then him, and he's trying to make his own way and do his own thing and think he's all little Billy Thug or whatever.
Yeah, he's making dues with what he's doing. It's not like that he's not making strides, but it starts to turn, but in a better light.
Yes, that is probably one of the best things, is he finally gets to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I'm going to walk away from these things that could be potentially damaging to my future, and and finally, after slapping the hand of everybody who tried to help him, finally gets it through his thick head. Maybe I should, you know, swallow a little pride and move forward, because that's one of the things, is you watch his journey and you feel for his journey. And it's one of those, I think, as far as a film, the best part about the film is the fact that regardless is the language does not impact the film. If any, the film transcends the language.
Yep.
Because yes, it's a foreign film. You have to get through the dialogue or the subtitles. But regardless of that, you can feel the emotions in the dialogue. You can feel the intent in the dialogue.
Yeah.
And you get the as far as the acting. I mean, that's I love that about this
strong
film.
It is. The acting is very strong, and that acting is pure, down to heart, down to earth. They have a very love-hate relationship, but it's not one that's driven by over melodramatic scenes. It's very raw and realistic, and they play to type but add character to type, and it levels out the simplicity of the direction because it's very pure, endearing, and poignant with how and why they react. It takes away the predictability of the outline and allows you just to live and breathe how one life is ending but one life is growing.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Totally appreciate that about the film.
Oh yeah.
Rye, what'd you give it?
Overall, this is a great, homely, sensational film. Uh, it is a great foreign film, and for those that don't watch a lot of foreign films, I definitely recommend this to you. 4 out of 5, full price.
I would give it a solid 4.5 because I've seen a few foreign films, but this is definitely one of the ones that really feel genuine, and one of the ones that the subtitles actually the English dub actually for me ruins part of the initial start of the film, because the English dub misses words
Yeah.
as opposed to what's in the subtitle, and the dialogue overlay just doesn't feel right.
This is yeah, that's why like I recommended this to Scuba when he went to watch it in its language.
Actually, I saw that blurb that you had flipped it over, and then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because you said it was an Italian made film, so I was thinking about that. And then I was getting through the first like 5 minutes. I was like, no, I'm gonna flip this back around.
Yeah, so this isn't a testament to, you know, people that like, I don't want to watch a foreign film because I can't speak the language. Great cinema transcends cultures, and this is an example of one.
That, and if you're studying a language, one of the best things you can do is watch a film.
Oh yeah.
To at least get the flow and the cadence of the language, because some of the languages are really kind of interesting to listen to the cadence of the conversation.
It's definitely a good way to teach yourself.
And at least great way to practice. I know several people who they watch anime in the original Japanese just to hear the cadence, because the cadence is so different versus the English dub and the way the subtitles flow.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's our 2 movies for the week. Awesome movies. Well, one more than the other. Like,
I agree with that. One more than the other.
One more than the other. This is the better. For me, this is the better of the 2 films.
For me too. I saw the other one a little higher than you, but you know, that's credence to film. Everybody come out. 5 people go in. 5 people come out with different opinions. So, any film recommendations or stuff, shoot it out in the chat or on the Discord.
I think we should do some Christmas movie reviews for stuff when we get to the end of the year.
Okay, I can definitely do a Christmas movie for the last show.
I wouldn't mind taking another. I don't know if we reviewed it last year, but the latest incarnation of the Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Benedict Cumberbatch as the predominant voice actor. That is up on Netflix right now. That is a hoot. That's a hoot even now.
Yeah, I definitely I have put my list together for the next films I will be watching, but you know, some of them's come out after our last show, so.
Well, again, you know, gonna take a winter break, kind of one of those things, because it's holidays, family, all that fun stuff. So studio will be closing down for the last couple of weeks of the year. So, but you know, it happens.
It does happen.
Keep it going. We keep it rolling.
So
alrighty. Yeah. So what's something else we can talk about?
I have done a lot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla playing.
Oh, that's right. State of game. Don't really have a lot of games, but you've been playing Valhalla.
Yeah, with my week off, I got in a lot of playtime.
I imagine. I was trying to do that.
Yeah, a lot of 2 a.m. playtimes. 3 a.m. on one night. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about some TV. So what are you thinking of Valhalla so far?
Valhalla so far is starting to inch. Remember, I wanted to play a little bit more to see if it would jump over some of my favorite Assassin's Creed games, like Origins and 2. It's creeping up there because so far this has been a very solid experience, and I said this in the beginning, my first impressions, it's a good combination of both Odyssey and Origins. And as far as I've gone in pretty far deep now with the story and conquered most of England, it is by far the grandchild or the golden child of those 2 games. it does so great with the storytelling and endearing the characters and where choice matters, and how certain characters from one part of the story that you come across and you meet them later, like the certain things that they do, and you really feel for what they do, and you really feel sad for certain deaths. I'm not gonna say who or what, but you feel as sad. And then there are certain connections that it makes. Especially, I did not realize that you actually traveled to North America. Like one of the missions, you go to Vinland to take out one of the main ancient, orders of the ancient. So you pick up the Apple of Eden, and it leads you into a chamber where he stops and says, "It's not for me." So it adds another wrinkle of mystery of what the Apple of Eden is for and what that door opens, which I'll probably find out at some point. But anyways, it's very in-depth. The world is very lively. There's so much randomness and so much interactions that you can do. The one thing I did pick up on is did not realize that you can develop romances.
Mhm.
And you can develop deep romances with anybody in the story. So, and I have developed a strong romance with somebody in the story. It's kind of cool. And it's kind of funny because like it pitted me against another person, and what's cool about it is the idea of choice. And I decided, you know what, I don't want to ruin my friendship here, so I'm not going to develop it. But over here, I'm going far. Raiding is my favorite thing to do in that game. I love raiding towns and stealing stuff and just beating up Englishmen and throwing them off roofs and all that kind of stuff. And the enemy types are so, you have to be smart. You have to know how to counter, and like you said, the control schemes on this is very on point. I mean, it's the same kind of control schemes from Odyssey and Origins, but they've refined it in a way where it's very quick, and it's not going to like misstep. And the more you develop your skills, the better your skills get. And the cool thing is you can change them on the fly, which I like the skill tree. You can change it on the fly. So you can reset it depending on what kind of area or enemy you're tackling.
Nice.
Especially I had to respect when I was fighting the zealots, because they are some tough mamma jammas to take out. So I had to look something up because I was getting really mad because I couldn't take them out. So I respect a certain way, and I was able to take out 3 or 4 of them so far. Then I got too antsy and was like, let me take out this one, and got my butt kicked. So I was like, you know what, I'll come back around and find you later and do the rest of the missions. But overall, I've conquered most of England, moving closer to coming in confrontation with King Alfred of Wessex. So the next land I'm going after is Kent. It's in the lower right corner. So yeah,
That'll be fun.
I'm definitely loving it, and so far it's inching closer to overtaking Origins. Not yet.
You get there.
But it is fun. It's definitely fun. It keeps me engaging. And it's not one of those games where I'll play and then I'll jump to a different game. I've literally played this game and don't play anything else. I've completely ignored Watchdog Legions because this game is so enrapturing my soul right now.
Well, at least it will for another 6 days. No, 9 days.
Oh yeah, that's when Cyberpunk drops. And I might just be like, you know what? I love you, Assassin's Creed, but
I got a thing.
I got a thing over here with my thingy thing called CD Projekt Red, and they made my favorite game of all time. So more than likely, this will be my second favorite game of all time.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. But so far, great experience. And I might go pick up Miles Morales at some point this month.
Actually, I watched that, and I watched the remaster of Spider-Man, and I gotta say I like the remaster. I like some of the stuff the PS5 is putting out as far as graphics quality.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be nice to see how that kind of goes. His Dark Materials is the other one. Let's talk about His Dark Materials, because that series is amazing.
All right, so season 1, how is it?
I was actually telling my wife this text today because she was curious about it. I said, I feel it's better than Game of Thrones.
You feel it's better than Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones actually bores me to tears.
Yeah, it isn't for everybody.
I mean, And this coming from somebody who spends a lot of time doing fantasy RPG
Yeah.
type games, Game of Thrones just does not hold my attention. It really doesn't. His Dark Materials, loving it. The characters are a lot more varied. The interaction, the appeal you have for the character, or the investment you get in each of the characters is a lot more. Even freaking Lord Azrael, and that dude is that dude. Actually, I mean, all of them are much more interesting characters to follow, to see how it goes, and the story and all the various layering that goes into that. If they can hold that on, then I would definitely think it's definitely already a solid better for Game of Thrones for me, and it'll just continue. I mean, I started the first episode yesterday and then binged like 7 episodes back to back because I was just like, oh, I want to see what happens. I need to see what happens.
Yeah, that's definitely a trait of a good show. Like, it keeps you going and go and go and go.
It's such an interesting kind of back and forth dynamic, and each of the characters, I mean, I can't talk too much. I can't credit the fact that the character growth for each of the characters is so interesting. The river people, the whole thing with the animal spirit animal companions, and then or the fact that, okay, we're gonna bridge across from one world to another, and how is that gonna add to things? It's like it's just great. And then Lin-Manuel Miranda, I mean, his character is kind of cool and interesting.
I heard he was in the show.
He's there, and he's funny. He's funny. He's funny. Seeing the girl from Logan playing the lead role definitely is a lot better because she talks more in this one than she did in Logan.
Well, she kicked a lot of butt in Logan, but it's cool to hear her talk like this.
Yeah, James McAvoy as Lord Azrael. Kind of prefer the Daniel Craig version a little bit more, but then again, he's not bad. I mean, he's definitely got quite a bit of range as an actor, but some of those bits are really interesting. All those various characters from other TV properties coming in for these bit parts.
Oh.
Yes, the girl who plays the lead in His Dark Materials, that was X-23 in Logan. Hair's a little shorter. She talks a little bit more. She's a lot funnier. Yep, Lara Lee.
It's definitely a show on my list. It is one on my list, that, and there's a few stuff on HBO Max that I'm definitely going to start watching, because HBO Max definitely has a huge category of stuff.
It has a huge category, which actually can lead into something you wanted to talk about, and that was, let's talk about 2021 and the rise of the streaming powers.
The streaming powers have been, rising steadily over the years, but with the way the world is changing and the way the pandemic has changed our viewing experience, the streaming wars has grown even exponentially higher.
Well, I mean, and some of the stuff that goes in there, a couple articles you sent me that I went through, was like, we're talking the next Godzilla movie, Godzilla vs. Kong. Legendary is looking at either putting it out on stream or putting it out in theaters. Reportedly, Netflix came in and said, hey, Legendary, I'll give you $200 million if you let me put this on the streaming platform. And Legendary was like, let's talk. And then Warner Brothers is like, oh, wait. Because Warner Brothers has a huge investment is the distribution for that. And of course, Warner Brothers streaming platform is HBO Max.
Yep.
So there's a back and forth. Legendary is... This is an interesting thing, and I want to see how this kind of plays out. Legendary is footing the bill for the next Godzilla vs. Kong. If Godzilla and Kong were to go to theater and they don't make a good return on investment, this could actually close Legendary Pictures.
Yeah, And films have done that in the past.
Yes, they have. That some films that don't perform really well really do kill an entire studio because they've invested so much into it that if they don't get the return on investment, then the studio goes bankrupt. We're looking at this, and then for the counterpoint to that, we already know that Wonder Woman 1984 is being released on HBO Max.
Yes.
On Christmas. Thinking about there's which ties into another article we were talking about, where Warner Brothers is accepting $1 billion loss on Wonder Woman 1984.
They have accepted it for the sake of they're trying to get that platform built, and they know that putting a big name and big budget film like Wonder Woman on there will bring in an attractive base of streaming that want to watch it. But not only, hey, we want to watch Wonder Woman at home, I can watch it on HBO Max, let's sign up. Oh, wait a minute, there's more content here. Oh, look at all this. And it's a way of attracting new people and helping to build that base, because they are trying to build up their subscriber base so they can compete with the big giants out there.
I mean, let's be fair. Out of the DC expanded universe, Wonder Woman is the one that's keeping that boat afloat.
Oh yeah, that's like Wonder Woman is the bright light above all the other films that have been critically and at times panned. So
yes, very much so. So, but interesting when we look at these, like Warner Brothers, is like, oh yeah, $1 billion, okay. Legendary's like, I don't know if I can take that kind of risk.
Yeah, it shows where studios know that at the beginning of the year they fought against that in the theaters, that's had that trepidation with streaming. Is streaming the next big thing? Is the next big thing? And with the changing landscape of the viewing experience, and both at the theaters and at home, and the rise of streaming, and not just the rise of streaming, but the quality that you can find on each of the streaming platforms, it's driven them to actually drive this idea of choice. And that idea of choice has started earlier in the pandemic, but is going to hit prime time with both Wonder Woman on HBO Max and Soul on Disney Plus.
Oh, that, and we're talking. This is interesting because it's gonna be interesting to see, because as we keep going on with this, I mean, we're if we're paying attention to the media right now, if we are, they're talking about having preliminary bits of the vaccine coming out, and we know it's going to take 6 to 8 months for that to really disseminate out. And then it's the psychological impact of this pandemic, and how is the theater industry going to come back from that? If the studios are willing to take these exceptions to put them out on the various streaming platforms, or as we're seeing, Netflix is shopping around trying to buy up film properties that are scheduled for release that hadn't gotten released yet.
Yep.
And willing to make that investment because Netflix has such a multinational footprint, and certain films like a kaiju film is going to supposedly do really well in the Eastern markets.
Yeah,
that it's this business, and then how we're kind of working from that, which may be a little too early to tell, but but this is an interesting kind of reading the tea leaves, so to speak.
And it's one of those tea leaves that a lot of people are seeing, more people are seeing it now, but a lot of people that follow the film industry and the viewing experience from like me, who have been noticing it over the years, this is just a pinpoint of things to come. Yeah, because I've been saying it, like streaming, it's not going to kill the theater industry, it's going to evolve it. And if you go to theaters now, like the local chains here, it's more than just the movies, it's the experience, the food, the theater seating arrangement, the more dining, the more aspect of enjoying,
how you diversifying the experience, because that's one of those tropes with millennials. One of the biggest tropes with millennials is not about stuff, it's about experience. It's about going and having an adventure, so to speak. It's not about, oh, let's see what the coolest things I got. Block 89, thank you for that 4-month sub, sir.
Thank you.
So it's all of those interesting tidbits that go in there. And then of course, I think I heard a blurb today that like Zoom with coming back into non-virtual meetings, how that might impact some of those businesses that have had a record boom in things.
Oh yeah, so the virtual experience and the streaming wars are just brewing, but yeah, with the vaccine just weeks away from approval and then months getting into the population, is this change going to evolve in that direction, or would it revert back? It's just a matter of because not only the studios are only dancing the line with the movies that were supposed to be released this year. They still have a slew of other tentpole movies that are still scheduled beyond 2021
scheduled, yeah, but let's talk about the productions on some of those. And then let's talk about how this, again, that psychological impact of when this is all done and we can safely lift our lockdowns. Are people really going to be rushing out to the theater?
Yeah. So not only would you lift it up, it's the willingness of people to go back. Not just, just theaters, but everything in general that require that crowding.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very much so. Yeah. Very much so. So yeah, those are that's an interesting tidbit.
Oh yeah, but it's interesting to see that this is actually, it might be a boon for HBO Max if they can get a hold of Godzilla vs. King Kong and do that simultaneous release. It'll bring even more people to the platform, because the more I skim around HBO Max and the more content they continue to drop, they are starting to look ready once they can get that subscriber base up to compete with the big boys even more.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
They have a lot of good content on there.
Wow, we've been doing this for nearly an hour.
Boom.
Talkie,
walkie.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any odds and ends for us this week. Didn't really find anything all that really interesting to talk about.
Yeah, nothing really strong out there.
No, not really. Well, I think it's getting to be about time we kind of change things up with the format anyway. See how this goes, conversationally. Tuesday night grading.
Oh yeah, one day I'll be doing that. Not today.
Not today.
No.
But real quick, again, thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are awesome and amazing. Thank you for all that continued support. If you're enjoying this and you're new here, please consider clicking on follow and follow us. It does take resources to do this, so any of those bits and subs, prime subs, regular subs, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, all that stuff is great. Helps keep the lights on and keeps us doing this. We do also have a couple other shows coming up. Saturday is the big D&D day. 10 a.m. Eastern is Shadow Watch. They're continuing their adventure into the Underdark and going to have taken a task from a group of Snubberven, deep gnomes, to clear out an area for some many-eyed creature that they think that they've seen that has been terrorizing their northern enclave border. So we'll see what kind of creepy crawlies are involved with that. And then of course at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, we have Challenge Accepted. The crew has found the killer and are pursuing the killer and have received a major clue that could lead them to their climax. I expect only a few more episodes of that, and we may be wrapping that for the end of the year. So the next 3 weeks are going to be quite interesting for Challenge Accepted. Also, of course, we have Sunday morning, Sunday with Scoob. That will be back, of course. And I have another miniature to paint. I think I will pick one of the ones from the Dungeon in the Box sets I have been receiving due to those or minis in a box, courtesy of Dungeon in the Box. I just got my November minis not too long ago, and of course I have some of the last couple of months, so I may pick out one of those and do one of those this week on for painting. And if we have time after we get done painting it, maybe we'll jump into playing some more Assassin's Creed. And other than that, check out our videos on YouTube. If you catch up on previous episodes of all the stuff I've talked about, except for Sunday with Scoob, but if there's an interest, I'll put those up. And of course, next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. will be, of course, Scuba and The Ry. Come check us out, hang out with us, talk movies, talk games, all those things. And if you have suggestions for some future content, please come over to our Discord, shoot us a tweet, send us a message on social media. A little doobly doo over there. Yeah, over there. That doobly doo tells you where to find us on social media. And with that, we will wish you all a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. Love each other, stay safe, and get ready for that crazy holiday shopping. Hear that classic holiday music. We all know the tune that's in our heads right now. You know it, I know it, and we'll call it a night. Good night, everybody.
Peace.